Today's Talk About It Tuesday question is, what can we do for the kids to start building good credit and work history so that by the time they hit 18, they have usable credit and tax history that they can start a business or real estate and get loans? All right. So I think we have to start out with an understanding of what credit is, the importance of a credit history, and when you can establish a credit history and get credit. So credit is the advancement of goods and services with an agreement to pay for those goods and services later. A loan is an advancement of capital with an agreement to pay back the capital at a later date. Both of those things will give you a credit history. But what we have to understand is if you are under 18 years of age in America, you cannot sign a contract, right? And if you cannot sign a contract, no one can extend you credit with an agreement, because an agreement is a contract, to pay at a later date. No one can lend you money with an agreement to pay later because, again, a loan is a contract. So you cannot build credit if you are under 18 years of age. So there is absolutely no way for you to establish a credit history prior to 18. And on top of that, in most cases, due to the law, the way it's written, if you are under 21 years of age, it will be extremely difficult for you to get a credit card and or a loan without a cosigner, because at 18, oftentimes you cannot show a significant enough income to be able to cover the cost of servicing the credit or the debt. So it's premature, right, to try to establish a credit history. When they turn 18, when you can be a guarantor on a credit card for them or a guarantor on a loan for them, you can, in some cases, add them as an additional user, all right, on your credit card, which will give them pretty much your credit history. But prior to that, you should just teach them about credit, teach them about leverage if you're talking about loans for real estate. You can teach them the principles of that. And maybe you can play that with them yourself by extending them credit from you to them, a loan from you to them, so they get in the habit of using it properly. You also have to understand at 18, most people, and sometimes we forget how immature we were at 18, most people cannot use credit appropriately because you're just not that sophisticated financially at 18. I don't care how much experience you've had, you are not fully developed in that area. So it's very difficult to do more than just try to expose them to the principles, teach them the principles, and at 18, when they can legally sign a contract, extend them either a little credit, like I said, on their own or with you as a guarantor. And even then, small amount, right? Start with a starter credit card, which is basically the only thing they would be able to get anyways, like $250 credit. Teach them how to use it appropriately and teach them how to pay it back appropriately so that they get maximum benefit out of it. Other than that, there's not much you can do prior to that. In regards to the work history, that's not relevant or important when they're trying to get a loan. Tax history, not important. You can start paying taxes at any age. This is funny. There's a minimum age to sign a contract to get credit, but there's no minimum age when you can start paying taxes. If you have earned income, then you're expected to pay taxes on it. I don't care how young you are. So there's no limit for that with the IRS. But that's not necessarily important, right? Your work history is not important in getting a loan. The amount of money you're earning at that time that shows you're able to pay the loan. Sometimes when you're talking about a mortgage savings, the amount of savings you have that's been in your account for a certain amount of time, the amount of income you have that shows that you can pay back a loan. And then just at that age, there's certain triggers in the algorithm that say you're irresponsible because 18-year-olds are irresponsible. So there's not a lot you can do in that regard. But like I said, train them, expose them, teach them what it is, let them see how you do it. And like I said, you can extend them credit from you to them. It's not legally binding. It's just you and your child. And when they're 18, become a guarantor or have them as an additional user on your credit card where it's allowed with your credit card company. But other than that, that's pretty much all you can do. And, like I say, expose them early, keep training them. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Please like, share, subscribe, keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.